Schools in Cameroon are ready for a fresh takeoff come June 1 with assurances of a rigid confinement of the coronavirus way out of classrooms and campuses. Universities in Cameroon are all ready to go for the June 1 special resumption with practical modalities to keep COVID-19 under check, as Professor Ufe Chenjemelo, Rector of the University of Ngaoundere, will be confirming as guest on the 7:30 News. The need for disinfection and sanitizing workplaces, homes and offices leads to a boom in the disinfection machine and other hygiene paraphernalia, for which competition is now rife and is ongoing as the ongoing fight against the corona pandemic continues. Those are our lead stories. Hello, welcome to the program. I am Ben Menopofong, and this is the 7:30 News. Ministers in charge of education in Cameroon say all the necessary measures have been taken to ensure a smooth resumption of classes on the suggested date of June 1, 2020. They were speaking at the end of the cabinet meeting for the month of May, chaired by the Prime Minister, head of government, Joseph Dion-Gute. Today's meeting also examined ways of improving the follow-up of the COVID-19 patients in Cameroon. Christian Che Atam reports from the Star Building.
The effective decentralization of the follow-up of COVID-19 cases and the capacity of health installations in Cameroon to handle the disease was the main point of focus of this Thursday's cabinet meeting. With over 5,000 cases in the country so far, the Minister of Public Health said measures are being taken to empower health districts in Cameroon to handle cases of COVID-19.
We are working with all partners to enable the health districts to be the one major step of taking care of COVID-19. We know in our region we have the specialized center created by the head of state, but in our district we have some facilities to take care of COVID.
Coming barely 4 days to the indicative date of resumption of schools in Cameroon, the cabinet meeting for the month of May also assessed the level of preparation at the level of schools and universities.
Very prepared. I don't think that anybody should be should worry about the preparation. Those who are going to start on the 1st are the back class and GCE A level. Then you have about 3 days on the 4th. That's when the rest of the people come in, just to allow for us to see and make sure that there is no error.
We have measures to give our students the necessary material to protect themselves. Even though we give the masks to the parents, to the government will give another volume of masks to all the schools in the division.
The application of relief measures on enterprises and families also came under review during the meeting.
All the 9 measures have been implemented, and you know that some of the measures are concerning the taxes that had to be paid, and the head of state has decided that the payment of some of the taxes should be postponed. This is what we have done.
Prime Minister Joseph Dion-Gute has instructed members of cabinet to be meticulous in applying measures against COVID-19. He has called for particular attention on the respect of opening and closing hours of bars in the country. Joseph Dion-Gute has also instructed health teams to be more compassionate in the way they handle the remains of victims of COVID-19 in order to show respect for both the living and the dead.
Officials of the University of Ngaoundere say the institution is set to receive students when classes resume on June 1 in strict respect of COVID-19 preventive measures. And in order to ensure physical distancing, various faculties and departments have created study groups for students with specific timetables. Ellis Wajibanmia has more from Ngaoundere.
The University of Ngaoundéré expects to welcome thousands of students in the days ahead for a continuation of the school year. The present context of the coronavirus has imposed the adoption of measures to curb the spread of the virus within the campus. According to the Vice Dean in charge of academic affairs in the Faculty of Science, Professor Habil Jonka, the faculty has formed different study groups for students in order to respect social distancing. Tap-adapted buckets with water and soap are also available in strategic points for students to constantly clean their hands. Similar dispositions are glaring all over the campus to contain the spread of the virus when classes resume. A mass campaign to disinfect all offices and classrooms has equally been scheduled to hold. Meantime, various study timetables have equally been published, plus a list for defense to hold few weeks after school resumption. Within the campus, new buildings have been constructed with many more infrastructural developments in view to create a convenient learning environment for students.
And as I was announcing on the headlines, guest on the 7:30 News tonight is Professor Ufwe Melo, who is the rector of the University of Ngaoundéré. Good evening, Madam Rector.
Good evening, Dan.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm pleased to be here.
Now, how is the University of Ngaoundéré a few hours before the resumption of formal lessons?
Yep, we've just listened to the presentation. The University of Ngaoundéré is ready. We're prepared to receive the students come Monday 1st. And of course, we know school resumes at 7:30 in the morning. So a lot of preparations have been done. We are quite ready to receive them. And you know, within this period, since the 18th of March, when we shut down the campus, we continue with e-learning, online learning. And with that, we did about 90% of the courses, and follow-up of the students was about 55%. But if not, others still had possibilities to do the catch-up, downloading their courses. So we are quite ready to start to resume, you know, after doing quite a lot of work the past 2 months.
Yeah, the major concern now has been the talk about the COVID-19 pandemic. What are some of the measures that you have taken at the level of your institution to stop the spread of that disease? And what are the guarantees that you are giving for their efficiency?
Yeah, well, the guarantees is that everything is there. We've taken all the measures. We start by, we know the first thing is washing your hands. At the entrance, the campus of the University of Ngaoundéré is quite broad, but we made sure at the entrance, because we've continued with work, but we know when the students come, there will be a good number of them coming at the same time. So we're putting a series of wash hand basins at the entrance, automatic even wash hand basins that will be faster, you know, produced by one of our schools in Sai. And then we also have the temperature. A good number of, with the medical center, a good number of the staff would be available to be able to take the temperature of the students at the entrance, and then in front of the amphitheaters and the pedagogic classrooms will be doing the same thing. That's just one of them. And then we also have the hydroalcoholic gel that is produced by the University of Ngaoundéré. We'll make sure that will be available to be used. And then we've already done the programming for the classes to make sure we don't have, the distancing measures have been taken to make sure we have at least 1 meter in between the students when they come in. And then even when they come in, we'll control their coming in. They will not come in mass, they will not go out in mass. So all of that will be controlled. And then for the mask, we've already asked the students to come with their mask. But of course, we have reserve of masks for those who will not be able to afford it, to be able to give
How
them.
will we be disposing of them in their classrooms?
In the classrooms, that's why I say we'll measure this distancing. We'll make sure at least we've already encircled the areas where they'll stand, where they'll sit, giving a distance of at least 1 meter between the different students.
Now let's talk about something else now. There are some media outlets that are accusing you and the entire administration of your university that the Adamawa region is underrepresented in a university that is located in their own very region. How would you react to that allegation?
Well, I think it's a matter of statistics. We saw the statistics that the students, because this statistics was given to this newspaper by students, and you wonder what information students would have. I know a good number of students don't even know their head of department, to the extent of having a total list of who is who in the university. So it's a pity. There's a lot of errors in what they published, and what we did was we've done clarification. I'll take an example. The number of lecturers. It was indicated that the number of lecturers for all the university was 21, but we have 58 lecturers in the university. That represents more than 12%. For support staff, they indicated we have about 52 support staff. No, we have 88 support staff, and it represents 20% of the university. So that gives an indication of the fact that the statistics were wrong. And then going to infrastructure, it was claimed, that students even sit not uncomfortable seats, that they even sit on cement blocks to attend lectures, which is not true. A lot has been done in the past 3 years that I've been there as a head of that institution. The veterinary school, the block has been finished, which is of 500, an amphitheater of 500 places. The laboratories have been equipped already. We also have the school of Falsh and the mining school in Menganga. Falsh is it's in the main campus. That's School of Humanities. Menganga has the School of Mining. Similar structures are there. They are about being finished. We have renovated some abandoned structures, which I made the structures abandoned since the year 2000. We have some 14 classrooms, which have already been renovated. And then at the school of, because we have an annex also in Garwa. In Garwa, we're already about finishing the pedagogic block. And of course, we know since I got to the University of Ngaoundéré, we've had 4 new schools. 2 which were on the text that were not operational. That is School of Education. We have the School of Chemical Engineering. And then we have also École Normale in Betwa and the School of Medicine in Garwa. So those are all the infrastructures that have been put in place for those schools to go operational, and as I said, even there, it depends on people's opinion, what you expect, because when you expect so much, then you have a problem. But the worst thing is when the statistics are wrong, then there's a bigger problem. Because we even have the school of the mother school of the University of Agro-Industry. That school has about 10% of engineers which are from the Adamawa. But the statistics on that document is well below that being 5%. So I think it's a problem of the wrong person giving information. Students don't have that information. And of course, in the University of Ngaoundéré, I, director, am very open for the students. They know even with the students delegate, we communicate. So I don't know, this is, other students, I don't think there are students, within the framework of the university that will give such statistics.
Now, a moment ago, you were talking about the infrastructure that has been, renovated, those that are already welcoming students. Now, let's look in the future. What are some of the projects that you have in the pipe for the University of Ngaoundéré in terms of amphitheaters and pedagogic blocks and all the like? Yes.
Unfortunately, the system of construction or attribution of tenders was not the best, because you have to give pluri-annual projects. But they had a system of giving annually. So we have a huge block of the Faculty of Science that is still ongoing. Then I mentioned also the School of Humanities and the School of Mining, where their buildings are about being finished. Those have been completed. We're looking forward to finish the Faculty of Science, which is a very huge structure. As I said, we have the pedagogic block also at the School of, is an extension of the School of Political Science. But if not, the 2 other schools that have been created, that is ENS, as well as the School of Medicine, then the School of Chemical Mining, as well as School of Education, all those we need to do the structure. But if not, that means one very important aspect which we are going to respect in the University of Ngaoundéré is to have partnership with the private sector. Because if you don't have partnership with the private sector, the government alone cannot do everything. So since the 5th of April 2019, the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education signed a circular opening the doors for the universities to be able to collaborate with the private sector. And through that partnership, we've actually had partners even from France, from Poland, who are willing to come and collaborate with the University of Ngaoundéré on different projects. For example, we even have this project of an industrial zone within the university. We have another project which we call it University of Ngaoundéré Innovation Center for Excellence, which is now a cooperative. And in this cooperative, you have both the locals and the university. And of course, through this, we're sure we're going to have a lot of private sector initiatives, and that we're going to develop more and more, and even businesses will be created within that region.
Professor Ufechinjimelo, Rector of the University of Ngaoundéré, can you say with your hand on your chest that on Monday, June 1, schools will resume on your institute? Yes, on Monday, June 1, school will open because I spoke with the syndicate of lecturers, I spoke with the student delegation, and I assured them about all their worries, and they saw with me. Come 1st June, Monday, schools will resume in the University of Ngaoundéré, and nobody, the head of state says nobody will panic. Nobody should panic. Come. Those who have your mask, come with your mask. Students who cannot afford the mask will give you. We'll have washing points. We'll disinfect the university before you even come, and we'll make sure we disinfect end of every day during the courses, because I know those were among the worries.
have no fear, come on to campus and everything will be fine.
Thank you very much, Professor Chije.
You're welcome, Ben. It's been my pleasure on this platform.
John Gobu, let's continue with the newscast now to say close to 400 million CFA francs has been approved by the University of Boya to resolve some pressing administrative, pedagogic and logistic issues before the resumption come June 1, 2020. This was during an extraordinary council session of this institution chaired by the Pro-Chancellor, Professor Edward Ako, during which it was also confirmed that the institution is ready to receive its students. We'll have this correspondent report from CRTV Boya.
The absence of the 2020 University Games and other extracurricular activities caused by the outbreak of the coronavirus is the major reason why an extraordinary council session was convened at the University of Boya. The session was aimed to seek ways to approve funds as well as to endorse the promotion and advancement of teaching staff.
Basically, the result to transfer 330,640,000 francs to resolve some of the problems that the university is facing right now. In all, we had 107 faculty members whose files were examined, and we endorsed the advancement and the promotion of the various faculty members.
With regards to school resumption, come Monday, June 1st, the Pro-Chancellor appreciated the various measures put in place on campus to curb the spread of the COVID-19.
In terms of what I've seen so far, almost in every building, every amphitheater here in the University of Boya, you'll find water, you'll find soap, and then there are also hand sanitizers everywhere.
At the end of the session, Professor Edward Ako visited the newly constructed building hosting the Advanced School of Translators and Interpreters and the Pan-African University.
Annabella Ndike Enoanyang reporting there from Boya. Preparations for the June 1 partial resumption of classes in Cameroon have reached fever pitch in schools in the nation's capital, especially in the private sector. In most of these institutions, emphasis is being laid on guaranteeing a COVID-19-free study environment as well as the physical and infrastructural convenience of the campuses. Joyce Tata made a round of some of these schools and is here with a roundup of some of the anti-COVID measures that are being put in place.
Private schools in Yaoundé speed up preparations to welcome students and pupils in a safe and clean environment. School administrative personnel are constantly checking the classrooms to ensure sanitary measures prescribed by government are strictly respected.
The discipline master at the door will read the name of the student. Once they read your name, they indicate your number. They show you the table where you have to sit. Fortunately, our desks measure 1 meter. So one student will sit there, another one here.
As schools resume, the pupils will have to adapt to new norms put in place by the administration to fight COVID-19.
I insisted parents send their children to school with 2 face masks in case one gets missing. There will be no breaks, so I have told teachers to make sure movements are reduced.
I wrote our whole city in order to receive them the means of organized disinfection in our school. They promised us to come and do it until Saturday.
It is also time for teachers to receive last-minute instructions from hierarchy, so no stone is left unturned. Parents are also assured of their children's safety as preparations hot up.
There is a classroom made for maybe cases that we may think that this person has a suspected case.
Technicians, however, continue to install new water stations at different spots in schools to facilitate constant hand washing in different school compounds for a smooth and safe school resumption come June 1.
Let's now go over to the Public Health Emergency Operations Center, where Gilbert Ongene is standing by to give us the latest information on the coronavirus in Cameroon today. Hello, Gilbert. If you are listening to me, tell me what's new today.
Hello, Ben Menopufong. Welcome to the Public Health Emergency Operations Center here in the Mesa neighborhood in Yaoundé. The most recent figures communicated to us this day talk of 365 new cases of the COVID-19. 14 recoveries have been recorded today in the country and 4 deaths. It must be made clear, Ben Menopufong, here that one of the reasons why the figures are on a constant rise in Cameroon, according to what the health experts tell us here, is because the number of screening centers in Cameroon have also increased, and many more people are being tested for the COVID-19. Here in Yaoundé, we have screening centers of COVID-19 at the multi-purpose sports complex at the Wada neighborhood. We have another at the military hospital, that's at SEFTA in Ekunu, and Jongolo Hospital in Yaoundé, and the Jammu Hospital. And finally, we have another screening center at the French Embassy that takes care of expatriates here in Cameroon. For now, screening centers exist in the headquarters of all the 10 regions of the country. And experts here tell us that plans are afoot to create screening centers in all the health districts of Cameroon in the near future. Then the take-home message today here is that Cameroon has adopted a systematic screening strategy, and the more cases are detected, the more the chances of breaking the chain of contamination, and this further reduces chances of new infections. That's what we had today at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center here in Yaoundé. Back to you, studio.
Thank you very much, Gilbert Ongene, for those updates for tonight. And we continue the newscast now to say as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to spread its tentacles in Cameroon and across the globe, so too are markets being flooded with sophisticated disinfecting equipment. The most catchy ones are the sanitizing machines used either for surface disinfection or placed at the entrances of public offices, as Ewane Epole reports. Some of these machines cost to neighborhoods of 6 to 7 million CFA francs, and the demands for them keep rising on a daily basis.
The rapid spread of the coronavirus pandemic has put hand and surface disinfectants in high demand. Manufacturers are setting all wheels in motion to get the products to the market and replenish supplies of the different types of sanitizing machines, which cost ranges from 6 to 7 million CFA francs.
The first is the disinfection of the body. As soon as you appear in the corridor, the product comes immediately and disinfect the body. As soon as you are at the end of the corridor, you show your hand to receive the solution. The one that is having a fan, use only one step. Chemical, it's the mixture accepted by the Ministry of Health.
Locally made surface disinfectants are easily manipulated than those imported.
These gallons stock the disinfection product, so each and everyone can easily put the stock inside.
Officials of public, parapublic and private structures that have already purchased the product are satisfied with the results.
We are not only protecting the clients, we are protecting ourselves from the pandemic. And that is why we decided to go on a high technology to see how we can cleanse those who enter and those who go out. We are satisfied with the machine because it gives us an insight to feel that everybody who is coming in, whatever thing you have, is left there on that machine.
The Ministry of Public Health has a well-equipped wash service that sanitizes public places and schools. The ministry has also partnered with local industries to help ensure supplies to meet the high demand of disinfectant products now common at the entrance of banking and public administrative institutions.
The Military Health Department of the Ministry of Defense today proceeded with the disinfection of the Cameroon Radio Television headquarters here in Balado, an exercise that aimed at checking the spread of COVID-19 in the structure. There is no denying the fact that by the virtue of the nature of their work, media men and women run more chances of contracting the deadly virus, just like health workers who stand even more exposed. Kilian Datndifon trailed the team through the different workplaces of the structure and put together the following report.
CRTV is not only the heart of the nation. The public service media organ is present at every important event in the country, and its workers are vulnerable to coronavirus. Wednesday, May 28, the corporation sought the intervention of the specialized unit of the Military Health Department for disinfection of its headquarters.
We do preventive disinfection. We do post-control of a declared case and disinfection. We also go to the field to take away the corpse of a compatriot killed by the virus and proceed to burial.
Unavoidable crowd pooling points are the newsrooms, the broadcast studios, editing booths, the makeup rooms and offices of operational directors. There were focal points the military anti-COVID task force disinfected.
The Cameroonian army is always close to the population. The equipment we have brought here is the tip of the iceberg of what we have. We can attend to anyone provided they pass through our hierarchy.
Knowing that the concept of the army and the nation, that is the army at the service of its people, is a reality in Cameroon, CRTV management called, and the Ministry of Defense has been quick to answer with a yes.
Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on the Cameroon Radio Television. We are broadcasting live from Yaoundé. Senators of the Central Region have urged their fellow constituents to be exemplary in the respect of all the barrier measures outlined by government to stem the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. The senators, who were speaking through their spokesperson, Sylvestre Naondwa, launched the appeal as they donated a consignment of mobile and sanitary kits to all the 10 divisions of the region to support the fight against the killer pandemic. Charles Anyangwe reports.
These 10 motorbikes, thermoflashes, and an incubator worth some 10 million francs CFA were the gift donated by the group of senators of the Central Region led by Sylvestre Naondwa to health officials of the Central Region. The gifts were officially handed over to representatives of all the health districts in the 10 divisional headquarters of the Central Region, where the pandemic is on the rise.
To tell to our population to intensify the fight against this pandemic by respecting the measure edicted by the government, especially the part of the mask.
The governor of the Central Region, Nasiri Paul Biya, who presided over the ceremony, and the representative of the beneficiaries lauded the initiative and added that the gift will go a long way to curb the spread of the virus in the Central Region.
With this, if there's any suspected case, even where in the village we can reach. So we are so happy for what the senators have done.
The loan incubator that was amongst the gift was handed over to the director of the Yaoundé Central Hospital, Dr. Fuda, to assist pregnant women suffering from the coronavirus when they deliver premature babies.
As we've been announcing since Monday, the contract for the signing of, for the building of 14 automated toll gates across the country have been spanned with the respective dummies presented to the public. The logical question that now follows is, when does work on this project begin, and when will the very first automated toll gate go operational in Cameroon? Get the answer to these questions in the fourth and last of our running series dedicated to the modernization of toll gates in Cameroon with our lady on the beat, Joyce Kimbi-Fowaju.
After
endorsing the contract on the construction of 14 automated toll gates in Cameroon, the different parties are now assembling the necessities prior to beginning work.
Under the contract, there is a 6-month period for the private partner, the group, the consortium FIAT and Aegis, to raise financing for the project. So normally after this phase, the construction works should start.
A good percentage of the works have been reserved for Cameroonian small and medium-sized enterprises.
There was a strong commitment to have a percentage of the construction works to be carried out by Cameroonian SMEs. So you have approximately 30%, a little more, reserved for Cameroonian SMEs.
Effective start of construction work is programmed before the end of 2020.
The first phase for the construction will be the finalization of 7 toll gates within a period of 14 months. So now we are at January 2022 for the first 7 toll gates. Then there is a second period, an additional 10-month period for the 7 other toll gates, which we are now then at November 2022.
The process for the modernization of 14 toll gates in Cameroon has therefore entered its realization phase.
In our closing headlines now, schools in Cameroon are ready for a fresh takeoff come June 1, with assurances of a rigid confinement of the coronavirus way out of classrooms and